In 2026, Formula One cars might have to downshift on a straight at full speed just to keep the car from dying. And that is not a joke. That's what top drivers are worried about. The sport is about to go through its biggest change in decades. In 2014, F1 introduced the V6 turbo hybrid engines. Many fans hated them at first. They were quieter, more complex, and they started one of the most one-sided eras in F1 history, the Mercedes era. But they also pushed technology forward, and F1 is doing it all over again. Only this time, the changes are even bigger. The cars will be powered by 50% electricity. The battery will be just as important as the combustion engine. Overtaking won't be about a simple DRS button anymore. It will be about a high-speed chess match of energy use. This is more than just a new set of rules. It's a gamble. A high-stakes experiment to completely redefine what a Formula One car is. So what exactly is changing? Why is it so radical? And why are drivers like Max Verstappen actually concerned? Since 2014, F1 power units have been hybrids. They use a gas engine combined with two electric motor generators. The MGU-K, which recovers energy from braking, and the MGU-H, which recovers energy from the turbo's heat. But electricity has always been the extra power buddy. Right now, only 18%, about 160 horsepower, comes from the hybrid system. The gas engine provides over 800 horsepower, about 82%. The electric motor helps, but the gasoline engine does most of the work. If the battery system fails, a driver can still race. They can still battle for position. Look at Daniel Ricciardo at Monaco in 2018. His hybrid system partly failed early in the race. The man lost about 20% of his total power. On any other track, he would have been forced to retire. But with incredible driving and Monaco's tight corners, he held on and won. It was a heroic drive. In 2026, a drive like that will be impossible because the entire power dynamic is being flipped on its head. F1 is forcing a 50-50 split between the engine and the battery. Both parts of the power unit will have to deliver an equal amount of power. The numbers are shocking. The power from the gas engine will drop from over 800 horsepower to just 540. Meanwhile, the power from the battery system, the MGU-K, will jump from 160 horsepower to nearly 470. This isn't a small adjustment, it's a complete overhaul of the car's heart. Lose your battery in 2026 and you're finished. Half your power is gone in an instant. You wouldn't just be slow, you'd be a sitting duck. So why is the FIA doing this? Two big reasons. First, sustainability. F1 wants to be carbon neutral by 2030. They need to show the world they are serious about green technology. Second, relevance. The car industry is moving toward electric. Automakers aren't interested in spending hundreds of millions on old-school gas engines anymore. F1 needs to stay relevant to car companies to survive. By pushing the limits of hybrid tech, F1 hopes to attract new manufacturers like Ford, Audi, and Cadillac, who have all signed up for 2026. It's a way to keep the racing fast without going fully electric. But this new 50-50 world creates a huge problem. To deliver that much electric power, the battery needs to be constantly fed, and that's where things get really strange. To make this work, F1 is changing how cars collect and use energy. Right now, a car can only recover a certain amount of energy from the brakes each lap. In 2026, that limit is being increased by more than 4 times. On top of that, the MGU-H is being completely removed. That's the part that cleverly recovered energy from the hot exhaust gases of the turbo. It was a complex and expensive piece of tech, but it was a great way to generate power without relying on braking. Without it, the car has only one way to charge its massive new battery: braking. This changes everything about how a driver approaches a lap. They won't just be braking to make a corner, they will be braking to harvest energy. Driving styles will have to be completely rewritten. We'll see drivers braking in unusual ways, changing their racing lines to find the best spots to recharge, and using their engines in ways we've never seen before. This all came to a head when Max Verstappen tested a 2026 car in a simulator. He tried driving a lap at Monza, one of the fastest tracks on the calendar. His feedback was alarming. He said that to be fast, he had to go flat out on the straights, but then downshift while his foot was still to the floor. Think about that. Downshifting at full throttle. In the simulation, the battery drained so quickly on the long straights that the car couldn't hold its top speed. The fastest way to keep accelerating was to drop a gear to get the engine back into its power band. It's a move that goes against every instinct a racing driver has. It's the kind of thing that would cause massive damage to a real gearbox. Verstappen called it terrible. If that became the normal way to drive, F1's fastest tracks would feel broken. The FIA heard the feedback and made a change. Instead of the electric power just switching off when the battery hits zero, they introduced a ramp-down system. At high-speed tracks, the power will slowly fade over 7 seconds. At other tracks, it will fade over 3.5 seconds. This gives the driver a warning before the power disappears completely. It smooths out the performance drop. But the problem isn't gone, it's just hidden a little better. Drivers will still be fighting a car that's constantly threatening to run out of juice. But what about overtaking? With all this focus on saving energy, will drivers even be able to race each other? Since 2011, F1 has used the drag reduction system, or DRS. A simple button that opens a flap on the rear wing, reduces drag, and makes passing easier. Some fans love it, and some hate it. But in 2026, DRS is gone. Replacing it is a brand new system called manual override. And it adds a fascinating layer of strategy in wheel-to-wheel racing. Here's how it works. The car in front can use its full 470 horsepower from the battery, up to a speed of 290 kilometers per hour. After that, the electric power starts to fade away. But if you're the car behind and you're close enough, you get an extra boost. You can keep your full electric power all the way up to 337 kilometers per hour. This boost is the override. It's an extra shot of energy you can use to attack. Unlike DRS, which you can only use in specific zones, you can use this override anywhere on the track. You could use it to launch an attack into turn 1, or you could save it to get a better exit out of a slow corner, or you could use it to defend. It turns every overtake into a tactical decision. It's a chess match at 335 kilometers per hour. Do you use your energy early to surprise them, or do you wait, bait them into using theirs and then counter? This could finally fix one of F1's biggest complaints: boring, predictable passes. But the changes don't stop there. The way cars take corners will be different too. With the MGU-H gone, drivers and engineers will be searching for any way to get energy back into the battery. This has led to a very weird idea. As legendary car designer Adrian Newey pointed out, we might see drivers revving the engine hard in the middle of a slow corner, not to go faster, but to spin the engine and use it like a generator to charge the battery. Imagine a car screaming its engine through the slowest hairpin on the calendar, like at Monaco. It's a completely bizarre concept. We may see cars that sound louder in places where they used to be quiet. The entire rhythm of driving is about to change. Among all these huge power unit changes, one other thing's happening that could be even more important in the long run: fuel. In 2026, F1 will switch to 100% sustainable fuels. This fuel won't come from oil drilled out of the ground. It will be created in a lab from things like bio-waste, or by capturing carbon from the air. But why is this important? Because there are over 1 billion gas-powered cars on the road today. We can't replace them all with EVs overnight. If F1 can prove that these new synthetic fuels work, it could help create a cleaner alternative for everyone. It could change more than just racing. It could have a real impact on the world. Let's be realistic though. New engine rules always bring pain. In 2013, the last year of the old V8 engines, there were only 27 retirements from mechanical failures all season. In 2014, the first year of the hybrids, that number more than doubled to 54. Teams just hadn't figured out the new technology. The cars were incredibly unreliable. Expect the same thing in 2026, if not worse. The first few races could be a war of attrition. We'll see failures with battery cooling, with the new brake-by-wire systems, and with the software that ties it all together. Just finishing a race will be a victory for some teams. And that brings us to the biggest question: who will get it right? When the hybrid era started in 2014, Mercedes nailed the formula. They built a power unit that was so much better than everyone else's that they dominated the sport for years. It took rivals like Ferrari and Red Bull almost a decade to truly catch up. The same thing could happen in 2026. The team that finds the perfect balance between the engine, the battery, the aerodynamics, and the weight will have a massive advantage. The teams that get it wrong could find themselves stuck in the midfield for years to come. This isn't just an update, it's a total redefinition of Formula One. Electricity will be just as important as the gas engine. The future of Formula One will be won and lost with watts, not just horsepower. In 2026, the electrical battle begins. If you've enjoyed this journey, there's plenty more to come. This sport never stops evolving, and neither will our content. I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.